I know we didn't touch on it earlier, but with Diop and Ogbonna, I think obviously we've seen the impact that Ogbonna's had this season when he's come back in. And I was watching a few of the clips the other day, and he's fantastic from set pieces, scoring, defending, but his organisational ability to help that poor back four in sense, really, with the fullbacks is really phenomenal. And I think if we started to have stronger fullbacks, you're taking the pressure off those two centre backs. And I think Diop, for me, is obviously, I think he's a talented player. I'm not convinced on him in terms of his ability on the ball, but I think he thrives when his confidence begins to build. And unfortunately for him, he's had so many knocks, and obviously the inconsistency with Balbuena and Ogbonna coming in throughout the season hasn't helped. So I think, yes, invest, but equally, let's have a settled back four. And I think you'll see the best from the players that are already there.
Naturally, yeah. I think every player, every football player you see thrives off confidence. And if your team's losing games, they're not going to be as confident on the ball. But Diop, I completely agree with you, Corey. Diop's a player where he's had to shoulder most of the responsibility for Fredericks being out of position or Cresswell on the other side with Ogbonna. And Diop against Spurs last season where we won 1-0. Antonio scored. Diop was sensational, I thought. When he carried the ball all the way across the pitch and nearly scored our second goal. So he has got ability. He's good in the air, like you said. He's a threat from set pieces. But I just worry sometimes about, is he too rash? Against Chelsea a few games ago, he gave away a penalty. It was a clumsy foul to give away. He didn't need to do it. And you do think, is his positioning detrimental to the way he defends? Because sometimes I think he outdoes himself in the fact that, he's a good player. He could be solid sometimes in some games, but at the same time, he's inconsistent in the fact that sometimes he's just a bit rash. And I don't know if we can improve on that.
I think as well, like you were saying about some of his positive qualities, he put in a brilliant ball the other day for Antonio, and obviously that was a great chance for him, and he didn't score. And it was nice to see him sort of show that in his play, because we have missed that this season. When Diop did come in, it took him a few games to settle, but in some of the games against Tottenham, he was absolutely tremendous and almost pivotal to the way we played. But speaking on centre-backs, and I'll put my tinfoil hat on because I'm sure some people will disagree, but obviously John Stones has been linked with West Ham. I know X has come out and said that's absolute rubbish, but I will address it because we never know what's going to happen. And for 20 million, there's an argument that David Sullivan might bite on it. So, I mean, personally, with John Stones, I just, if you've got a centre-back like Diop that's struggling with confidence, that needs to develop his game a bit, I don't think putting John Stones next to him is the answer to improve him. I don't know about you, but I just think John Stones has got too many errors in his game. I just think, yes, he's good. Yeah. He's good on the ball, but then is his decision making right? And for me, I haven't seen enough of him at Manchester City to suggest that he's developed past how he was at Everton, where he was making these mistakes.
Completely, and I think that was the only reason it materialises because of the link between Moyes and Stones, the fact that they were at Everton together, Stones developed under Moyes, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think, like you said, it'll do any confidence for Diop thinking, if he comes across it thinking is Stones going to replace me, because Diop's only, how old's Diop, 23 or something? He's got room to, he's got more time to progress than Stones has, who's in, you could say the latter stages of his career, really. And Stones, I think City are looking to offload him in the fact that they want a new centre-back, and they're looking at Ake, aren't they?
Good signing.
Ake's a good player. He is a good player, yeah. And Stones, he's good on the ball because City have that system where they like to play from the back from Edison onwards. They like to keep the ball. Stones has been, an important part of that structure. Guardiola's definitely helped him to progress in that sense. But you've got to think, would he be an upgrade on Diop defensively? I'm not so sure he would be.
Yeah, and another issue with it, I believe John Stones is left-footed. I don't know if I can't quite remember, but if you're looking to bring him into the defence, obviously Ogbonna is naturally left-footed. And I wouldn't like to see Ogbonna be pushed out to the right and Diop dropped. And I think Ogbonna, for as good as he has been and as consistent as he has been, I think sometimes he goes through these periods of a lack of confidence and he can't regain his form and he struggles a little bit. So putting him in a position where he's going to struggle, it's not naturally what he's used to, I just think that would be really a disadvantage for the whole team. and he's brilliant. He's a fantastic leader as well, and you can't overlook that.
No, exactly. I think Stones, just to touch on what you said, Stones is right-footed.
Okay.
But like you said, you wouldn't want to move Ogbonna to the right centre-back position because he would struggle there naturally because he has to cut in on his left and he's not as strong with his right foot. And I agree with what you said. Ogbonna's been vital for us this season. Without Ogbonna, we probably would have gone down. Our fate would have been sealed, 2-3 games before the end of the season against Villa. He's been absolutely vital, Ogbonna. He's been our best defender by a long stretch. But you've got to think at the same time, Ogbonna's getting on now. He's 30 odd, and how long do players like that last? I know keepers go on a long time. They can go to like 38, but defenders, you think as the years go on, do we need to replace Ogbonna?
Yeah, and that's the issue. I think you could see another year of Ogbonna playing brilliantly, and then the decline comes on, and then I think sometimes with West Ham, they're guilty of not replacing these players quick enough. And what happens is sometimes they get left out to dry. So with someone like Mark Noble, who I think has been brilliant for West Ham throughout his whole career, obviously, more recently, his legs have gone. But, I mean, it's quite obvious to see that he's not as athletic and as box-to-box as he used to be. So, and he's been sort of forcibly played in the position. And in some instances, he's struggled and he's a little bit out of his depth. And I think just as a fan, I wouldn't want to see someone like Ogbonna, who's given us great service and great memories, potentially be hung out to dry sooner down the line. So equally as I don't believe John Stones is the right signing to make now, I think West Ham should look at the centre-back position. I know Balbuena's obviously looking to leave or Moyes is looking to get rid of him. So let's address that before it becomes the same issue that it is with the fullbacks. We need to be a little bit more proactive.